Watch what happens when the press secretary is asked a question that doesn't revolve around Joe Biden's favorite flavor of ice cream. A tough question that she doesn't have an answer ready for. What does she do? She tries to cover her non-answer, shield it, by pulling a card from the deck of identity politics.
Is the White House concerned about the stock market activity we're seeing around GameStop, and now with some other stocks as well, including the subsidiary or whatever, the company that was Blockbuster? And have there been any conversations with the SEC about how to proceed?
Well, I'm also happy to repeat that we have the first female Treasury Secretary and a team that's surrounding her, and often questions about market we'll send to them. But our team is, of course, our economic team, including Secretary Yellen and others, are monitoring the situation. It's a good reminder, though, that the stock market isn't the only measure of the health of our economy. It doesn't reflect how working and middle-class families are doing. As you all know from covering this, we're in the midst of a K-shaped recovery. America's workers are struggling to make ends meet, which is why the president has introduced this urgent package to get immediate relief.
Let me assure you, we are woke, and the Treasury Secretary is a woman. A woman. Please, redirect your focus there.
You seem to be having more trouble distributing the vaccine compared to the Trump administration. Why?
We are distributing the vaccine based on race and not to those who are necessarily most at risk. So it might take a little bit longer time. Can you deal with that in the name of equity, please?
Distributing fewer vaccines is going to lead to greater number of deaths and infections. Seems like a bad deal for all of us, including me and you.
Well, you seem to care about how healthcare that we provide affects you and your loved ones. And we want you to know, and we care about the fact that we hired the first trans assistant secretary at the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services. Now really, which in the long term is more important? Did I mention that she was trans?
How'd you get your job?
Meritocracy, is that what's important to you? You bigot?
18 months later, after Joe Biden mysteriously falls down a set of stairs.
How in the world did the state of Alaska end up in the hands of Russia?
Yes, it is possible, Fox News, that you could say that Putin out-negotiated President Kamala, considering that she gave up Alaska in exchange for Vladimir's promise, and I would like to emphasize that they are on a first-name basis going forward. The promise being, of course, that they would never drill in the Arctic Wildlife Refuge. We wanted to keep that wild and free, as well as a hockey player from the Russian national team to be named later. And yes, many Alaskans are fleeing the Russian occupation, but our whole goal from the start was to move our country in the direction where it was possible to have our first female president. And we have achieved that. And you're quibbling because she made one little tiny tactical error. Well, shame on you, Fox News. Shame on you. Did I mention that our Treasury Secretary is also a female, Janet Yellen? She's considering going trans.